Now take these, your Pokedex and Pokeballs.
I'm Dexter, a Pokedex programmed by Professor Oak for Pokemon trainer Ash Ketchum of the town of Pallet. My function is to provide Ash with information and advice regarding Pokemon and their training. If lost or stolen, I cannot be replaced. Pidgey is a flying Pokemon. Among all the flying Pokemon, it is the gentlest and easiest to capture. A perfect target for the beginning Pokemon trainer to test his Pokemon's skills. A forest Pokemon, Rattata. It likes cheese, nuts, fruits, and berries. It also comes out into open fields to steal food from stupid travelers. Unlike Pidgey, Spearow has a terrible attitude. It is very wild and will sometimes attack other Pokemon and humans. Pidgeotto, an evolved form of the Pidgey. It is armed with sharp claws and dives from the sky to capture its prey. Unlike the more gentle Pidgey, Pidgeotto can be dangerous. Approach with extreme caution. Weedle. The stinger on this Pokemon's head guarantees that any attacker will get the point right where it hurts. Pinsir. This fearsome Pokemon uses its powerful claws to put the squeeze on its opponents. Beedrill. This Pokemon is an evolved form of Weedle, following its Kakuna stage. Its sting is highly poisonous. Kakuna. A transitional stage between Weedle and Beedrill. Kakunas remain inactive until they evolve into deadly Beedrills and hatch. Butterfree. 1 week after Caterpie evolves into Metapod, it again evolves into Butterfree. Zubat. Flying Pokemon with supersonic powers. Zubat live in caves and hate to fly outside in daylight. Clefairy. This impish Pokemon is friendly and peaceful. It is believed to live inside Mount Moon, although very few have ever been seen by humans. Clefable, an advanced form of Clefairy. These unique creatures are among the rarest Pokemon in the world. Staryu. The core of this water Pokemon shines in a rainbow of 7 colors, a core that is valued by some as a type of jewelry. Oddish. This Pokemon is typically found roaming the forest, scattering pollen as it walks around. Bulbasaur. It bears the seed of a plant on its back from birth. The seed slowly develops. Researchers are unsure whether to classify Bulbasaur as a plant or animal. Bulbasaur are extremely tough and very difficult to capture in the wild. Charmander. A flame burns on the tip of its tail from birth. It is said that a Charmander dies if its flame ever goes out. Squirtle. This tiny turtle Pokemon draws its long neck into its shell to launch incredible water attacks with amazing range and accuracy. The blasts can be quite powerful. Krabby. Lives near the shore. Its average height is about 16 inches. Raichu. A mouse Pokemon of the electric element. Raichu is the evolved form of Pikachu. It can shock with more than 100,000 volts, enough to render a Dragonite unconscious. Gyarados. This Pokemon has a vicious temperament, so use extreme caution. Its fangs can crush stones and its scales are harder than steel. Horsey. A dragon Pokemon. In this unique Pokemon species, thousands of eggs hatch every spring, and then the male raises them himself. Tentacool. A jellyfish Pokemon. 99% of its body is made up of water. Tentacruel. A jellyfish Pokemon. An evolved form of the tentacle. Its numerous tentacles serve as a powerful weapon. It is known as the gangster of the sea. Ghastly. A ghost Pokemon. It is usually invisible. Its specialty is hypnosis. Abra. A psychic power Pokemon. It sleeps 18 hours a day, but employs telekinesis even while sleeping. Kadabra. A psychic Pokemon. The evolved form of Abra employs powerful telekinetic attacks. Haunter. A gaseous Pokemon. No further information. Gengar. No information available. Mankey. A pig-monkey Pokemon of the fighting type. Known for its superior footwork, it packs a powerful punch. Although Mankey is usually calm, it does have a bad temper. Once Mankey begins to thrash, stopping it is impossible. Primate. If you make eye contact with this evolved form of Mankey, it will chase you forever. Tangela. A vine Pokemon. Its body is wrapped in vines. The rest of its form is hidden beneath these vines. Hypno. A hypnosis Pokemon. It carries a pendulum-like device and performs hypnotic attacks. Drowsy. Said to be a descendant of the dream-eating tapir. It was the first Pokemon to use a combination attack like hypnosis and dream eater. Psyduck. Constantly suffers from a headache. Vulpix. A fox Pokemon. Its 6 tails are extremely beautiful. As it evolves, it grows even more tails. Hitmonchan, a skilled fighting Pokemon that packs an incredibly fast punch. Machop, its body is pure muscle. Its special attack is the Seismic Toss. Magnemite, a magnet Pokemon. Its means of floating through the air are not understood. This very mysterious Pokemon is of the electric type. Grimer, a sludge Pokemon. Born from sludge, these Pokemon specialize in sludge attacks. Muck, Grimer's evolved form. Use extreme caution as its slimy form contains poison. Diglett, the movement of these ground Pokemon can be easily detected by their tracks of upturned earth. Dugtrio, the evolved form of Diglett. No specific information available. Venonat, a bug Pokemon. Its eyes function as radar, allowing it to see in the dark. Voltorb, the identity of this creature is unknown. It has an extreme personality, uses electric attacks, and at times self-destructs. Venomoth, an evolved form of Venonat. Tiny scales on its wings disperse various spores when they are black. Golbat, attacking with its sharp fangs, this Pokemon can drain 300 cubic centimeters of blood per bite. Tauros, a wild bull Pokemon. When whipping itself with its three tails, its tackle is a powerful destructive force. Growlithe, a puppy Pokemon of pleasant demeanor and great diligence. It drives enemies away with barks and bites. Ponyta, a fire horse Pokemon. Its mane is made of intense flames. Dodrio, a three-headed bird Pokemon that can run faster than it can fly. Its three heads represent joy, sorrow, and anger. Kangaskhan, a parent Pokemon. Once approaching extinction, they are now protected by law and inhabit the Safari Zone. Approach with extreme caution. The Kangaskhan is a rare Pokemon which raises its children in its pocket. They will attack viciously and without warning if they feel their young are threatened in any way. Golem, a Megaton Pokemon. Once a year, it sheds its bedrock shell and grows larger. Cloyster, a bivalve Pokemon. Its shell is incredibly strong and resistant to a bomb. Its shell only opens when it attacks. Ditto, a transformed Pokemon. It is able to rearrange the cells of its body and assume any form. Its only attack is Transform. Eevee, the evolution Pokemon. It has the potential to evolve into any one of three different Pokemon. Eevee evolves into one of three Pokemon, depending on what stone is used on it. Using a Fire Stone will yield Flareon, the Flame Pokemon. A Water Stone yields Vaporeon, the Bubble Jet Pokemon. A Thunderstone yields Jolteon, the Lightning Pokemon. Snorlax, a sleeping Pokemon. Snorlax wakes only to eat. Snorlax is the heaviest species of all known Pokemon, with some weighing more than 1,000 pounds. Scyther and Electabuzz are both rare Pokemon. They are able to distinguish colors and become enraged by the color red. Execute, an egg Pokemon. Although it resembles an egg, it is known to be more closely related to the seed of a plant. Executor, a coconut Pokemon, also known as the walking tropical rainforest. Each coconut has a distinct face and its own character. Its special attack is Hypnosis. Charmeleon, the flame Pokemon. It has razor-sharp claws and its tail is exceptionally strong. Paris, the mushroom Pokemon. Rare mushrooms grow on its back. Parasect, the mushroom Pokemon. It battles using poison spheres that spread from the mushroom canopy on its back. Jigglypuff, a balloon Pokemon. It has large, friendly eyes and it sings a pleasant song. Ammonite and Amistar, Kabuto and Kabutops. It is believed that these Pokemon became extinct tens of thousands of years ago. The details of their behavior is shrouded in mystery. Though some have speculated that they may still exist, none of these Pokemon have ever been seen alive. Aerodactyl, an extinct flying Pokemon. Its hard fangs suggest that it was a carnivore. Its sharp claws were probably used to capture prey. Farfetch'd, a wild duck Pokemon. Farfetch'd makes a delicious meal, especially when cooked with leek. Because of this, Farfetch'd is nearly extinct. Togepi, an egg Pokemon. Specific information about this Pokemon is still unavailable. Togepi is imprinted with the image of the first thing it sees after it hatches, thinking this is its mother.
Lickitung, the licking Pokemon. It uses a tongue that is more than twice the length of its body to battle as well as to gather food.
Growlithe, the puppy Pokemon. While loyal to its master, the Growlithe will drive away enemies by barking and biting.
Ninetales, the fox Pokemon, is the evolved form of the fire Pokemon Vulpix. Rhydon, the evolved form of Rhyhorn. It is known as the Trill Pokemon. Its large horn gives it formidable attack power. Magmar, the Spitfire Pokemon. Its body is like a furnace, making Magmar a living inferno. It has been discovered only near active volcano. Wartortle, the turtle Pokemon. The evolved form of Squirtle. Its long, furry tail is a symbol of its age and wisdom. Dewgong, the sea lion Pokemon. The evolved form of Seal, this water ice Pokemon can easily resist extreme cold. Pokemon unknown, no available data. Mr. Mime, the barrier Pokemon. It uses pantomime to make actual walls appear. Because it is rarely discovered, information about this Pokemon is extremely limited. Jinx, the human-shaped Pokemon. This Pokemon has some very unusual powers. Its special attack is the Lovely Kiss, which puts its opponent into a deep sleep. Lapras, this intellectually advanced Pokemon, is able to understand human speech. With its mild temperament, Lapras prefers to carry humans on its back rather than engage in Pokemon battle. Doduo, the twin bird Pokemon. It runs faster than it can fly. Alakazam, a side Pokemon. This Pokemon uses psychic attacks to overcome its opponents. Marowak, a Bonekeeper Pokemon. Despite its small size, its offensive and defensive strength is impressive. Kingler, the evolved form of Krabby, a pincer Pokemon whose claws can pinch with the power of 10,000 horsepower. Seadra, a dragon Pokemon. The evolved form of Horsey. Seadra has a violent temperament, and the quills that cover its body can render its victim unconscious.
What's that?
There is no data. There are still Pokemon yet to be identified.
Very interesting. Huh? Ash has seen over 100.